Good morning. Common Room is a provisional practice, a flexible work environment, exhibition space, and publishing imprint in a small modernist office building in New York's Lower East Side. The project we want to present is Common Room 2, an occasional gallery located in the rear elevator lobby of our office building. The location of Common Room 2 is very important to us, as it is a resource, an inspiration, and a testing ground for our practice. To give some background on the location of the building, Common Room, our office, and Common Room 2 are located in Co-op Village along Grant Street, made up of moderately priced union housing. The office building itself is a somewhat discarded modernist cube, designed by Herman Jesser, the Co-op Village and Co-op City architect. Jesser's office was actually housed in the building, as was the United Housing Foundation, the not-for-profit developers directed by Abram Kazan, which managed the Lower East Side co-ops from this location. Many of the original tenants, members of the Garment Workers Union, had savings account in the bank that still exists on the ground floor today. The building is a resource for the young and the aged. A childhood development center occupies the second and third floors, and the services and a community room for seniors of the immediate neighborhood share the fourth floor with common room office space. Some of the original social idealism ascribed to the origins of modernism and modern architecture is fulfilled in the manner that the building operates today, a tarnished emblem of a utopian vision.
We have a handshake agreement with the managing agent of the building to improve the elevator lobby with works of art. The gallery space, as such, was initiated at the same time that we officially set up our office space common room, and it became a research project for our office of sorts. I'm not supposed to move them. The project for us has come to define the organizational relationship of a provisional practice. The project is a way of loosening up the boundaries of architectural practice, and it allows for an active engagement with our immediate environment, the building, the fellow tenants, the users, the neighborhood, and the old and new identities of the Lower East Side. The main idea for mounting the shows is the main area for mounting the shows is the extended space of the elevator lobby. The space is used as is, with minimal disturbance of the lobby environment. Funding is limited, and the lobby is unsupervised. All the tenants of the building and the community they serve pass through the lobby, and the lobby space operates as a quorum for the members of our local social group. So it's a neutral space in the building that has become a point of assembly. A participation in the space then becomes a model for other projects. The first series of 10 exhibitions in the elevator lobby were all curated, organized, facilitated, and primarily financed by Common Room. We established a description, a sort of manifesto for this project to clarify the terms of engagement. Operating this project has required a series of interesting negotiations between the artists' Common Room and the local community of users.
Table of contents, the first exhibition was a group show, intended as a preview of future Common Room 2 shows and an indicator of the larger intentions of the participating artists. With this show, we were testing the grounds and testing the waters. A defined display system was developed and a panel system onto which the artists could attach their work without disturbing the walls of the lobby too much. The show was fairly well received because the pictures brightened the space, and we were encouraged to continue. Lobbying, the second show, is an exhibition of new and old projects by Interbro, mapped out through three narrative bands. The entire installation was applied directly onto the walls of the lobby, and occupied not only the walls of the elevator lobby, but also the walls of the windows and the front lobby space. During the exhibition, one of the most eye-opening things to come out of the Common Room 2 experience has been the installation of the CARES sign by one of the main tenants of the building, a very dominating aspect of the lobby, and a direct reaction to our activation of the space through exhibitions, a reclaiming of the lobby space of sorts. Here we were clearly made aware that the mode of relation to space is one that is constantly changing as the lines of interest, political, social, commercial, become apparent.
Gemeinschaftsräume. Communal spaces, community places, and common rooms was the fourth show at Common Room 2. The show was based on issue 10 of the Berlin-based political architectural journal Eine Architektur, and it covered 29 historical and current examples of communal spaces in different contexts. The exhibition was composed of posters from the magazine organized on one wall of the entrance lobby. During the first week of the exhibition, it was indicated to us by the landlord that we should relocate the posters from the entrance lobby because they were visible from the exterior and that it appeared too messy. We had pointed out that nobody complains when the same amount of newspapers are strewn about the floor every day from the circulars that are left in the lobby, and that we couldn't move the work without consulting with the artists. And up to that point, the landlord had assumed that the work was ours and that we had just run out of wall space upstairs, so he scratched his head. Communist Guide to New York City by Evgeny Fix is a collection of 79 photographs of buildings, public places, and sites in New York City that are connected to the history of the Communist Party, USA. The photographs are individually displayed on the walls, accompanied by captions explaining the significance of each site. Additionally, different neighborhood maps locate the buildings within New York City. Again, a few days into this show, the landlord came up and asked us to remove the exhibition because the notion of communism seemed too controversial. So in an act of self-censorship, we blocked out the bold letters communism on the exhibition poster, which we always place in the empty marquee in the lobby, and we left the show on the walls. This ended up being a fairly popular show with many of the seniors who passed through the lobby, remarking how they remembered certain local communists after having looked at the exhibition. This show was also the beginning of our publishing imprint at the Communist Guide New York City, and an extension of our exhibition activity beyond the lobby space. The next show was Universal Fittings by Ray Octagon, which was a print project that featured a selection of propositions for the lobby space. Additionally, each Sunday during that summer, July and August, a series of performances, talks, and screenings were scheduled as part of the exhibition. This exhibition pushed the use and notion of the lobby to its furthest point, and the lobby is made into a pretty public space.
Form Groups by Aoife and Iasco Feza was intended to be our final show. It was the 10th show and marked the end of our full engagement with curating the exhibitions. The exhibition was a sort of celebration, a celebration of the space, the gallery, and of group activity. A balloon drop, meant only to remain for the duration of the opening. It was extended for a few days due to the unexpected positive feedback by other tenants. Common Room 2, however, didn't end after these 10 shows, but it did take on a different form. For subsequent exhibitions, we have been approached to host shows, which is not experienced because we don't actually own the space. We hosted a series of shows about Spura, the Seward Park urban renewal area, by students of the New School, with Gabriel Bendiner-Vianney. It fit well into our initial manifesto. There was a limited involvement by Common Room. We just managed a relationship with a landlord, and we assisted in coordinating the installation. The exhibition series eventually extended across the street into the Abrams Art Center. Another exhibition was an exchange with Vexa Sinister, based in a circular tour between both offices, two semi-permanent installations in our respective spaces.